Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. The Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline on Arrowverse with the next crossover next year is stupid. Why is it stupid? I know you've changed your tune, Mick. I've changed my tune because I thought about this. They can't use Cavill. They can't use Affleck. They can't use Momoa. They can't use Margot Robbie. To do a Crisis on Infinite Earth story, you need to be able to use literally the infinite Earths. So many Earths. It is ridiculous to think that they're going to do a crossover next year. Who are they going to use? Black Lightning. They're going to make Black Lightning. Wow. And what we're going to get? Oh, Oliver and Felicity won't be talking again, so they'll kiss and make up during that. Wow. Barry will feel betrayed and depressed because his daughter betrayed him. Wow. And he has to get his mojo back. Wow. Cool. No expense spared in Arrowverse, eh? Listen, the reality is that this year's crossover was just a build-up to that story. Now, the only way they can do anything interesting is if they actually have Rosenbaum as Lex, Welling as Superman as well. That could be quite exciting. But still, it won't be enough. But at least it'll be kind of interesting. I just think it's a stupid idea. It's just a stupid idea as them bringing Darkseid into season 10 of Smallville. They didn't have the budget to do it, and that's why it didn't work. And then you had Darkseid Lionel. It was ridiculous. And this is the same thing with this. They do not have the budget. They do not have what it takes to pull this off. It's going to be the same old lame crap we get from every crossover. It's funny, actually, because the Legion story on Smallville, written by Jeff Johns, Absolute Justice story written by Jeff Johns, is better. The Smallville stories, right? Sorry, I should explain. Jeff Johns wrote Absolute Justice, which was a big kind of a feature-length episode of Smallville, and they did Legion. Jeff Johns did Legion, right? Those two episodes, were much better than any crossover Arrowverse have had. And they're not. I don't think their crossovers have been all that. Everyone loves their crossovers, but I think they're pretty lame, to be honest with you. And I think this is not going to work. It's just not. It is a stupid idea. I've thought about this long and hard. We're going to have about a year to think about this and do videos and discuss it. And I want your input to think what they can do with this. Because truly, what can they do? What access have they got? Maybe they could do something stupid like have Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. Maybe. I mean, she'd be pretty old, but I mean, they could just make her look young these days anyway, can't they? They could do things like that, I suppose. I suppose they could have Dean Cain's Superman. I mean, you know what? I think they're going to do this stuff, aren't they? It's going to be pretty lame, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. They'll probably CG Christopher Reeve's Superman. That will be expensive. I just think, listen, it's all very well being ambitious in life, but some things you shouldn't touch with a barge pole. Crisis on Infinite Earths should be something that's done by the movies. They've got the budget. They've got the talent to do it. But Arrowverse has not got the talent to do a Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't see how this can work. Can you? And I'm not talking about pulling it off. I'm talking about making an awesome, epic Crisis on Infinite Earths live-action story. How can they do that? Now, I don't have all the information. I don't know what they're thinking about doing. Between you and me, I'll tell you a secret. I don't think they've got a clue what they're going to do. They decided to kind of build it up within this crossover. They had the big, bold letters, next year, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Well, that's all very well and good, but what are you going to do? You don't know, do you? And here lies the problem. And this sums up this franchise altogether. They're all very good with, banging us over the head with their ideologies and pulling Superman's pants down and making him look like an idiot. But when it comes to doing something real, something raw, something epic and something awesome, because Crisis is an amazing story, they will not be able to pull it off. It will be forced and contrived. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't think anyone knows how they're going to do it. And for me, it's like a blind bat flying at night time. And me personally, I don't think they should do it. But they're going to do it. They're going to do it because is going to get big ratings, and people are going to be fall into watching it, fall into liking it and thinking it's amazing when it's not, because it can't be amazing. Because this is the problem they're going to have. Because before, we never knew what the crossovers are going to be. But this year, we've got a whole year to think, oh, Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is going to be good. And when we get to it, it's going to be an anticlimax. And people will be disappointed. And this will kill off the Arrowverse crossovers forever. I mean, who knows how long these shows are going to go on for. Personally, as far as DC shows are concerned, it's Gotham, I know it's the last season, and it's the DC Universe streaming service shows. I'm really, really interested. You know, Swamp Thing, Stargirl, which has just been announced that Jeff Johns will run that show. Really excited about that. Jeff Johns is a great creative, no matter what people say, because of his time within the DCEU. So, basically, the DC Universe stuff I'm excited about. The Arrowverse stuff, I just don't trust them. I don't think they've got the talent, and there's just not enough comic book fans working within that franchise. Now, when you look on DC Universe, the people who are involved are comic book writers, people who love these characters and care what happens to these characters. There's not many people over on Arrowverse you could say the same about.